you can not only survive, you can thrive, and you can combat the system. So everybody know that's true already. But also you can maintain a certain type of composure, you can maintain a certain attitude, and you can be a human being when you do it. And you can define yourself. I am we are human beings. Right? We are not communists, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we are Muslims. But in this struggle here, we are in the struggle for the liberation of all the people in our environment. Now, in our own environment, on our block here, we want a little more Islam. Well, what kind of Islam we want? We want easygoing Islam. What does that mean? All the guidelines are Islamic, but we're not running around following nobody, looking in their garbage can to see about what they're doing. Right? Look, like during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the guidelines are Islamic, but you have a model. The leaders should be models of behavior. Right? And the guidelines are something that we all follow, not something the poor people follow and the rich people do what they want to do. That ain't what we're doing. So, remember, those two aspects are very important. That we show that you can do it, but we also show that we are real, live human beings. Real human beings with certain hopes, aspirations, and goals. But we put you and your family and your other things first. The other thing is leadership model with Islamic Negro characteristics. Remember leaderless resistance? You can't have a pyramid type structure in America. That's what, remember the article, leaderless resistance? You can't do it. Oh, that's good. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. But it's with our characteristics, colored characteristics. We're working on that now. When we institute it, we'll tell boss man, it's already done. We're going to do it right in front of his face. We're into it right now. When we finish and we get the benefits of that, we're going to tell him, just like we tell him psychological guerrilla warfare has worked. After this has worked. Everything we done said has worked, right? Everything. Let me see, some of these are, now we're going to perfect this. This is some of the 2014 type CDs. Contentment, power, patience, exposed links, case against Oakland, war against Musa's male family members. That's pretty serious. Sports psychology, Islamic movement. Okay, this has 8 CDs in it. We're going to have a whole media section. Let's trim these down, sparkle them up, you know what I mean? And we're going to put out high quality. You'd think it comes from CBS or somebody. We're going to make them high quality. Okay. Audacity, restoration, recovery, revival, replacement, optimism, unjustifiable optimism. Like what we're talking about now, it's a type of optimism, but if you measure the environment, it's not justifiable for us to be this optimistic. You have to have something to hold on to be optimistic, right? We ain't got nothing to hold on to. Of course, Allah, that's sufficient. Learned helplessness. See, we got to help the people. You know learned helplessness? Does everybody know, understand learned helplessness? Learned helplessness. Okay. Learned helplessness is, the main experiment was done with dogs. I'll be quick. They put a dog, put it in a cage. The walls was electrified, the bottom was electrified, everything is electrified. So they turn up the juice. The dog hollers and jumps around. He grabbed the walls, try to get this electrified. He hit the ground, it's electrified. He jump up to the top, it's electrified. And he just is howling and everything. They turn it down, let him give him a little breather. They click it up again, he hollers even louder, defecates, urinates, does everything, lose all bodily functions. And hey, he just goes crazy trying to get out of that cage. They turn this stuff down, give him a little breather, then they turn it up high as it'll go. And guess what?
He don't move.
He don't move. He's been conditioned to be helpless. The Negro is conditioned. Why they got all the stuff, 1968 rebellion, Paris movement, this movement. Why haven't nothing happened since then? Because the white man moved in and destroyed everything. By 1970 and 71, the black movement was finished. With all of us still here, with black lives don't matter, Negroes don't matter, with school desegregation, resegregation, and all of that stuff, and ain't nobody saying nothing. There's no movement. Why? Because the old Euro that knocked us over, so they sent us back 50 years for anything that resembles. And they talking about Martin Luther King. Suppose in the 60s, they would have been telling us about Booker T. Washington and Du Bois now, right? They didn't do that because it was a new time, a new energy. And we slipped through with a little bit of freedom movement, and they said, you won't be free again. You'll never move for freedom again. In fact, there's one movie, Panther, the movie, J. Hoover said, they'll never have another Messiah unless we give him to him. I think that's the truest thing in the movie. Expectations, visualizations, self-image. This stuff is really true. But our people have been conditioned to learn helplessness. Our people, the only out they see is a government job. There's nothing wrong with our people. They've just been conditioned. They've been trained. They've been trained like that. That's why we can't be mad at our people because they've been conditioned and trained. But they not only conditioned and trained, but they didn't blame the Negroes for all the problems. They kill us off a certain period of time, and then they come, but the next week is the welfare queens. This is right after the rebellion. Here come old Reagan with welfare queens and all of that. They brought the drugs into us and turned us to kill ourselves, and then they say, it's your fault for killing each other. They're the ones passed the 13th Amendment that says they're going to have an institution that go out and catch niggas in a net and drag them into jail or work them to death. That's what it says, right? Then they blame us. And a lot of the niggas downtown, a lot of the relatives and friends, they blame the niggas too. They shouldn't have did this. They shouldn't have did that. What you mean that? They got the white folks, you blame the fish, you stupid fish, you got caught in that net. They don't say that. They say, you should have been good. You should have been good. 13th Amendment, what is that? This is our relatives, of course. They like that today. So the system, look what it's done. It's to block the revolution, stop the revolution, and then blame all the problems on the Negro. they brought in the drugs. Everybody knows that LA was full of cocaine to help the Contras. The Congress, everybody knew it. But they bring Blandon back in to set up Freeway Rick again. And he just luckily got a pen. The guy got a pen the first time, man, I don't want to do no wrong. The guy, come on, I'm your friend. Help me, please. I got 100 kilos of cocaine. No, man, I don't. Come on, we're friends. Finally, the guy said, okay. You get there to ask the police. But don't go about a business. The homeboy go to the penitentiary for another 20 years, and luckily, after doing, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them, they might have just let him out. They don't give him his money back, they don't give him nothing. And the Contras, what the heck? Can you imagine how evil they are? They the ones did the slavery, they the ones did Jim Crow, they did everything. When we don't like it anymore, they stop us from doing it, then blame us for not winning. That's what they do, they blame you. I can see why Imam Jamil them was like they were. So anybody can fight, but everybody can't win. You gotta go out there and fight anyway. You can't be guaranteed no win. I mean, it's just my opinion, you know. But some people, they want to get back so bad. You know, some people you can tell they just don't have a loving heart. I mean, they ain't going for all of that. Nobody blames them. They're justified in that approach. But a revolutionary leader has to take everything under advisement and evaluation. And what's good for now may not be good for them, right? If you talk about the Quran as Ash-Shifa, right? At certain time it say kill the hypocrites and non-believers, slay them wherever you find them, right? Then pray for them the other time. Oh, they'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Just pat them on the head when you see them on Africa. Just pat them on the head. Okay, it says all of that in the Quran Hadith. You got to pick, that's what the medicine is, right? You got to pick the time to give them the medicine and the doses. That's within the human realm. You got to choose the doses, the regularity, right? The strength. If you give anybody too much medicine, it's dope, it'll kill them, it'll knock them out. And if the patient got every disease in the medical book, they got back pain, foot pain, head pain, lumbago, jumping pellagra, they got everything, right? They do, the Negro. Now suppose you go in the medicine cabinet and give them everything in the medicine cabinet because they got all the diseases. You just kill them. So you got to be selective a little bit at a time. That's not being easy on niggas. Niggas don't deserve. It's not that. It's not that. And remember, study the system, study yourself, and you see what's important. Is that important? Last month, you know them big cans of oil over there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's gallons of oil. So a Negro come by, I know a Negro. I've been knowing him. He's out in Norton. I know who sent him. I know he's here. I know who sent him. And a long story. Anyway, I said, well, you come back tomorrow, I'll get you some oil where you can work. I just got out of jail again, I need the money, and I want to get the oil. I said, don't you worry about a thing. So I text him right there. I already know why he's here. His office got written right on his head, right over his penitentiary number. They got the whole plan. So I'll take him right there so he can see everything. because that's the first thing. If people gonna burglarize you, they're gonna look around and see where everything is at, or you take in, you know what I mean? That's why in the old days you kept people outside. They didn't come in and see them. But, so I poured him a pound of oil. Man, this is good oil you get a little bit on. I said, yeah, keep it like that. You're gonna knock everybody else off. This oil is twice as good as everybody else. When he needs some more, come back. Well, that night he did need some more. And he come back, and first he took maybe 5 of them gallon things of oil. The next day he came back, and within 3 days, all that oil over there, gone. I would say it's about 20 gallons of oil. Now, that's a lot of, if he's not a millionaire, he should live in Potomac by now. Right? He got enough money. That oil, all that oil. That oil is not diluted, it's not cut. Okay, that's to make you hate niggas. That's the only reason. The people sent them to do that. That's what they want to do. They want you to be mad at niggas. I'm telling you, little stuff. I might have told you, know, I put that big pot of black beans with all kind of stuff, and they serve it, they just about ready. So I tell the person, it's kind of like anyway, watch these, I'm gonna go out and I'll be right back. When I get back, the beans is water. You gotta just turn it to water. And the kids is doing school time, so the kids couldn't pour them out. There's a pot. You know that pot down there, that big tall tin? It's full of beans. I take 10 pounds of beans and put them in there, let them soak, and then I put I don't know how many pounds of bell peppers all blended up and spices. Boy, they tasted good. And I said, man, why you pour the beans out? And I said, no problem. I just have to thicken them up. But the beans, half the beans is pouring out and it's watery. That means they didn't pour out everything. And now poured water in there, so taste is gone. All I tell them is this. We stay focused on what we're doing. If you let the system make you hate people, then you will only want to help yourself. Like they said in the old days, it ain't the white man. This is 2 years after the rebellion, or right in the middle of the rebellion. It ain't the white man, it's them niggas. By the way, I was looking on the internet the other day, they had a thing about Sharpton admits to being an FBI agent, and Jesse Jackson too. I don't know if y'all seen it. They don't have to admit it, we already know. Right? Tell the truth. Anybody would know why you think nothing ever happens because of people like that. Only thing I agree with Ronald Reagan on is civil rights hustlers. Who he was talking about, I don't know. But Liberation Connection, Islamic Movement in North America, Evolution, Black Liberation Movement, all of that, and public notice for Oakland and D.C. to OPD, FBI, NSA, CSA, and defense establishment. All of this stuff is for study purposes. We're going to hook it up, make it high quality, and it'll be a place to go to so they can study. A lot of lectures of the civil rights movement, but study the whole process for the last 40 years in detail. Because actually we have the lectures from 79, 78. We have from 78 on up. So we got tons of them. Therefore, we have to be the teachers of this. We're not the learners of this. We have to teach. But we also have to always monitor. Not only monitor the environment, but you have to monitor yourself. You have to monitor yourself Because remember, at any time, if you blink your eye one time, you can move from a good guy to a bad guy, just like that. It happened to everybody else. You can't play around like it can't happen. It's happened to Cuban Revolution. Fidel became very smart. He actually knew everything. He knew everything, and everybody else that wanted to know went off to jail. I like Fidel. Fidel did a good job, but I just wouldn't want to work with him. In Cuba, I would write letters from here or somewhere, but I wouldn't go there and say, Brother Fidel, El Jefe, we want to help work this out, because you would be in jail or dead. Now, that's what the white folks say. Not that I have Negro friends that all went to Cuba. See, people used to go to Cuba first and then go to Algeria. I didn't go to Cuba, because they said the first thing they do, is give you a big machete to cut cane. I said, I left Arkansas so I wouldn't pick cotton. I know when it's hot in Cuba, I ain't gonna be cutting no cane. You know what I mean? I'll help manage the cane field, but I ain't gonna even do that unless I ride around in a big fan. So maybe it's true. You don't have to ask what Stalin did. The reason the Germans had such a field day at first with the Russians, because Stalin had killed the whole intermediate class of people. In the military, he killed all of them. He killed, I don't know, thousands of managers. And anybody showed any promise. See, with dictators, that's the thing. You say, dictator, man, you give me this section over here, I'll fix it up, and man, we'll do this. That's the worst thing you can do. You say, that nigga fixed it all up. See, in China, we didn't like Deng Xiaoping and Guo Feng and all them guys. Well, Guo Feng wasn't that bad. He would stay around for a week or two. But even Lin Piao, they call him. He's the one, you ever see the Red Book? The little Red Book. I've seen. You heard about it, the revolution, the Red Guards and all that during the 60s. Right. Okay, Chairman Mao organized all this stuff. Damn, they tore the place down. And the Great Leap Forward, you ever heard of the Great Leap Forward? 1959, when they wanted to produce steel. So they had